I needed my scissors. Have you got dissecting qualifications?
Problematic.
So this is a human, not a human heart. Yes. It is, if it was a human heart, it would sort of be here. See? So it's actually a cow heart. And we got this in the butcher. This is a cow that was bred for meat. And you can see, actually, if you look in the top, a lot of the interesting stuff is at the top. The purpose of this heart is to pump blood around the entire body, right? And what I think is really interesting about the heart is that it's so different when you cut it up on one side than when you cut it up on the other side. So you know how the outside of our body, we're pretty much the same on our left and right? Well, most of us. I'm not at the moment. Joe is not the same on his left and his right. But the heart is completely different. So it's one of those organs that it's not in the middle of the body, it's not in the center, it's off to the side, sort of pointing off at a weird angle. And when you cut it here at the left-hand side, see how thick the wall is? It's a really thick wall because it has to pump blood around the entire body. So that is the left ventricle there. That hole is the left ventricle. And what that does is that pumps blood out through the aorta. Hello! That's the aorta. And that's the biggest artery in your body. So that branches off and branches off and branches off and supplies blood filled with oxygen to the entire body, right? Including the heart itself. So the heart is a muscle too, and that needs oxygen. And I'm dripping everywhere. And these are new shoes. And so the heart has its own supply of arteries and veins. So this is, you know, you hear people getting stents, like coronary stents. That's because their coronary artery, like this one, gets clogged and it collapses in itself. A stent is something that holds the wall of the artery open, so it just sort of stays in the middle and keeps the walls open so that the blood can flow through it. Because if it gets blocked, if that gets blocked over, downstream no blood gets it, so no oxygen gets to the muscle, and the cells die, and they sort of send out a shockwave to the cells around them, and those cells die, and you end up with a heart attack. So that's the left-hand side. Now when you cut open the right-hand side, so that travels all around the body, through the arteries, gives oxygen to the muscles, then comes back to the veins. And the veins go back, supply the heart here in the vena cava. So that goes in on the right-hand side. It goes in the right atrium, which is up there. That's the right atrium. I'm sorry, yeah. And then it goes from the right atrium. So I'm literally pulling on heartstrings now. Pulling on heartstrings. This is for you. And this is the right hand side, so it's that muscular. This is actually pretty muscular. I don't know what the health of this cow is like. But that only has to pump blood out the pulmonary artery and towards the lungs to pick up oxygen. So that's the heart. Then we also have, I don't know what to do next. Oh, we have more hearts. We have hearts from chickens. They're tiny little chicken hearts. And you can see the little chicken aorta. And it works pretty much the same way. Chickens and cows are, they're very distantly related actually, because chickens are birds and they're the only living descendants of dinosaurs, which is my favorite fact about birds. Then I have some kidneys. So kidneys are really important for absorbing stuff from what we eat and drink. So it's important for absorbing salts and minerals and lots of different nutrients. And if your kidney fails, that's not a great thing. You end up, your blood is essentially building up with toxins and salts and things that aren't good for you, so you have to filter the blood externally. But we have two of these, so these are symmetrical organs. So we have one on each side, kind of near the back of our body, and we have two. We don't need two. We can get by fine with one. They're not that interesting to look at on the inside, but we'll do that. We'll give it a try. When you open it up, you see pretty much two layers. There's a an outer cortex, which is where most of the absorption takes place. That's where most of the stuff gets absorbed from what we eat and drink. And then we have the medulla on the inside. I don't know what happens there actually, so we'll leave that. Then we also have another asymmetric organ. We have actually everyone guess what this is.
This is a stomach, isn't
This
it?
is the stomach, yes, exactly.
Chinese
Somebody say
people
trifle.
eat.
Yeah, see, this is what's really funny, right? Because we call it trifle if we want to eat it, but it's stomach. Like, we love renaming things if we're going to eat them. But that's the outside of the stomach, okay? So that's the wall of the stomach. And it's like muscle tissue. It's pretty much like muscle tissue because it has to move and it has to sort of turn things up and squeeze them and really mechanically break them down. And then on the inside, it's sort of like it smells now. It's like a carpet. So does anyone want to volunteer to touch it? You'll volunteer to touch it.
That was far from me,
It almost feels like a tongue, but
it's like a tongue. Well, it's the same
Not
thing
as
because
soft. I
the
didn't
tongue
do the
is
same thing.
full of these sort of grooves and sort of like hairs because that increases the surface area. So when you do that, you have lots of area that the nutrients can be absorbed through. So, but this also releases hydrochloric acid, which breaks up your food, and enzymes, which are active, chemicals that break specific things down. So that's
and
the
where is
stomach.
the acid created?
In the stomach wall, in the cells that lie in the stomach, they generate the acid themselves. So they take lots of hydrogen from water. Hydrogen is one of the main components of water. So when you break it down, you have all of these charged hydrogen ions that are used in your body for lots of different things, including stomach acid. This has been another Science Gallery Halloween dissection. Happy Halloween, everyone! Hey.